Hello there, BoBo the Bitcoiner is back. Before my usual explanation of Bitcoin today, I would like to ask you a question. Your answer will probably determine how much you know about Bitcoin market. What do you think will pilot Bitcoin to the moon? In other words, who will drive the adoption of Bitcoin worldwide? Is it the institution investor or the retail investor? What do you think? Give a little bit thought, okay? If your answer is institution, you are half correct. The true and accurate answer should be retail investor. Why? Now, let me explain. The first serious wave of abduction in 2017, when millions of retail investors joined the network, believing US government has finally accepted Bitcoin by allowing Bitcoin future to be licensed. Unfortunately, many are Bitcoin illiterate. They jump in blindly because Bitcoin price was going up like crazy, leaping $1,000 almost every week, from $3,000 in August to $19,500 in December 2017. Everyone eager to catch the jackpot. What happened after December 2017? Traditional market traders, non-Bitcoiner especially, exploit the ignorant by shorting down the price with auction. CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, famously said, "We are here to tame Bitcoin price." When the price starts going down after December 2017, all uneducated retail investors started to run away. Those quick to run maybe still okay, but those who hang on got their finger burned finally and has to let go, losing a lot of money, not knowing what's even happening. You know, the worst thing that can happen is you lose money and you don't know what's happening. But the Bitcoiner investor never run. They hope if these millions of retail investors at that time were Bitcoin educated and understand the ecosystem, the story today will be different. Bitcoin will probably continue to increase after 2017 December, but more slowly. Because as records show, true Bitcoiner never sell their Bitcoin for the last 5 years. And that's more than 50% Bitcoin holders. Now come the second wave, the arrival of institutions. Over the last 10 years, they are watching Bitcoin performance. Most predicted Bitcoin will soon die, but no, Bitcoin refused to die. At the same time, more retailers are joining despite the bad experience of 2017. More interestingly, why retail investors are buying and keeping instead of speculating? A, Bitcoin ecosystem still works perfectly as it was designed, quick and cheap, all transactions intact, never manipulated. Decentralized blockchain still record every transaction transparently, secure, and was never hacked. No system in the world has ever performed so perfect and precise. Gradually, many of these naysayers realize something must be remarkable about Bitcoin network. One by one, they change their mind. Jamie Morgan, CEO of JP Morgan, once famously said Bitcoin is a fraud. Now, He also accepts Bitcoin, and his bank is even assisting institutions in investing in Bitcoin. JP Morgan even said long-term target of Bitcoin is $130,000. PayPal former CEO used to say Bitcoin is a bubble. Now they are participating, allowing members to buy and sell Bitcoin, including checkout with 29 million merchants worldwide. Visa now also follow the footsteps of PayPal. The firm has earlier strayed away from the crypto sector, and now they say Bitcoin is too big to ignore. MasterCard also follows suit. Bloomberg was once a strong critic of Bitcoin in the early days, believing it will bubble. How the tide has changed. Now they say Bitcoin is on its way to becoming a global digital reserve asset. Maturation leap in 2021 will transit Bitcoin towards a risk-off asset, in our view. Howard Marks, co-founder and chairman of Oaktree Capital Management, back in 2017, he was very dismissive of Bitcoin because it doesn't have intrinsic value. Then say, now I learned how much I don't know. So we shouldn't talk about things we don't know. He reiterated, my initial response was a knee-jerk reaction without information, and that's not a good way to behave. Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, predicted Bitcoin will crash and go away forever. He now believes it is here to stay since a fatal regulatory onslaught hasn't happened. Austin Stray Spectalan is a high-profile Norwegian investor. On March the 18th, claimed that Bitcoin consumed as much energy as all of Norway and called it extremely environmental damaging. Urged the Norwegian authorities and the EU to ban Bitcoin immediately. Then, on the March 27, Spectalan has to eat his own words in a rather spectacular fashion. When the facts change, I change, he said. He now invested in Bitcoin. Deutsche Bank stated that Bitcoin is too big to ignore. Goldman Sachs predicted the price of Bitcoin to $100,000. Canadian investor and TV personality Kelvin OLeary previously called the cryptocurrency garbage and a giant nothing burger. Now, he has invested in Bitcoin and thinks it's no longer a fake. Mark Cuban is an American billionaire entrepreneur whose net worth is estimated at $4.3 billion. Several years ago, he once said that he would rather eat banana than Bitcoin. The tech billionaire now sees merit in Bitcoin digital store of value narrative. It's okay to invest up to 10% of saving into the high-risk asset now. Ray Dalio was a renowned hedge fund manager, was a staunch crypto skeptic in 2017, and he called Bitcoin a bubble. Then in late 2022, he said Bitcoin might now serve effectively as a diversifier to gold, given Bitcoin's limited supply and mobility, unlike real estate, for example. He humbly said he might be missing something about Bitcoin and love to be corrected. He is still trying to balance his thought on Bitcoin and many others. So many critics turn Bitcoin believer investors. The comfort here is these are all financial specialists who scrutinize Bitcoin through and through for the last 10-11 years. If they concluded Bitcoin is worth an investment, who are we to argue with them? This trend is progressing. We can expect to see more institutions in this year as the Bitcoin investment strategy proved rewarding. As they scoop up Bitcoin, they will push up the prices. Institutions may buy in large amount, $1 billion here and there, together maybe another $60 billion. say an average of $70,000 per Bitcoin. 60 billion means 857 Bitcoin only. Whereas Bitcoin available in the market now is 2.4 million Bitcoin. To buy up all Bitcoin in the market, institutions need to buy $168 billion worth of Bitcoin. Not good enough. Institutions need to buy, institution is basically giving confidence to retail investor. Retail investor will be the main driver eventually because of the sheer numbers. Unlike 2017, retail investor who jump in blindly without knowing Bitcoin. This time, many retail investors will be more knowledgeable in Bitcoin, smarter, more educated Bitcoiner. When they step in, it will be a completely different story. You see, currently only 2% of the world's 7.7 billion population has invested in Bitcoin, and price already 58,000 roughly. Say another 3% of 3% means 231 million people. If each buy just 1% of Bitcoin, assuming Bitcoin is already $100,000, 1% means $1,000, right? 1% of 231 million people will take up 2.31 million Bitcoin. That will swallow up all the 2.4 million Bitcoin in the market, leaving nothing left on the table. It will be mind-boggling to imagine what Bitcoin price will be by then. With almost no Bitcoin in the market, there will be a long queue of people waiting to grab whatever Bitcoin is available. Huge demand, no supply. It is not exaggerating that Bitcoin could be worth 500,000, could even be 1 billion, who knows? By then, rather than talking about Bitcoin, we'll be talking about Satoshi. One Bitcoin is equal to 100 million Satoshi. Right? If Bitcoin is $1 million, one Satoshi means 1 cent. This is highly possible, right? Volatility by then will be minimum, and we will probably be able to buy coffee with Satoshi. Think about it, my friend. Think about it. All right? So, see you next time. Don't forget to like. Take care. Bye-bye.